A pathetic man stuck in that chair. Do you really believe anyone will respect you now? You are nothing without me, Marcus. You are nothing. And hear me clearly. I will make you hurt slowly. Marcus stood by the large window of his estate, looking at the gardens outside. His legs were useless now after the crash that damaged his back 3 years ago. The wheelchair had become his cage. His wife, Vanessa, entered the room wearing a tight black dress and shiny diamond jewelry. She glanced at him and laughed coldly. Marcus felt his heart break a little more each time. He had given her everything: the estate, the vehicles, the credit cards with no spending limits. But since the crash, she treated him like garbage. She only stayed because of his wealth and the luxury life he provided for her every day. Vanessa took out her phone and began texting someone. Her fingers moved quickly across the screen, and she smiled. Marcus knew she was talking to another man. She did not even try to hide it now. He watched her from his wheelchair, feeling smaller than nothing. His trillions meant nothing now. His body was broken, and his wife hated him. She finished texting and looked up at him with hate in her eyes. "Why are you staring at me like that?" she said with a sharp voice. "Do you need something, or are you just being strange again?" Before we go further, please let me know where you are watching this video from. Are you in London, Australia, India, Ghana, or somewhere else in the world? Drop a comment below and tell us your location. Also, if you enjoy this story, please hit the subscribe button, give us a like, and share this video with your friends and family. We want to reach more people with these powerful stories. Now, let us get back to what happened next in Marcus's house that day. Marcus did not answer his wife. He just turned his wheelchair away from her and rolled toward the door. His arms were strong from pushing himself around every day.
Vanessa laughed again behind him. "Where are you going, cripple?" she said loudly. "Are you going to cry in your room like you always do?" Her words cut him deep like a knife. He stopped the wheelchair, but did not turn around. He remembered when she used to call him darling and sweetheart. Now she only called him cripple or useless. He took a deep breath and continued rolling out of the room. In the hallway, Marcus saw the housekeeper, Rosa, cleaning the floor. She looked up and gave him a sad smile. She was a kind woman who had worked for his family for many years. Rosa had watched everything change after the crash. She had seen how Vanessa transformed from a loving wife into a cruel stranger. "Good morning, sir," Rosa said softly. "Can I bring you some tea or breakfast?" Marcus shook his head. "No, thank you, Rosa," he replied. "I am not hungry right now." He rolled past her toward his private office where he spent most of his days now. Inside the office, Marcus locked the door behind him. This was his safe place. The walls were covered with certificates and awards from his business success. Photos of him standing tall and strong hung everywhere. Those pictures felt like they showed a different person now. He rolled to his desk and opened his laptop. Work was the only thing that still made him feel alive. His company was still growing even though he ran it from home now. His employees respected him. His business partners valued his mind. Only his wife saw him as worthless garbage. Vanessa stood in the bedroom looking at herself in the mirror. She adjusted her dress and applied more lipstick. Her phone buzzed with a new message. It was from Blake, her secret boyfriend. He wanted to meet her at the hotel like they did every week. She smiled and typed back quickly. "Yes, I will be there in 1 hour. Bring the wine like last time." She grabbed her designer purse and checked her makeup one more time. Being married to a cripple was boring, but her money made it worth staying. For now, at least. She walked down the stairs and headed toward the front door. Rosa was still cleaning in the hallway. "Where are you going, madam?" Rosa asked politely. "That is none of your business," she snapped. "Just do your job and stop asking questions." Rosa looked down at the floor. "Yes, madam," she whispered. Vanessa pulled out her car keys. She was taking the black sports car today, the one Marcus bought her for their anniversary last year before the crash, when he could still walk and she still pretended to love him and care about their marriage. Vanessa stepped outside into the bright sunshine. The driveway was long and lined with beautiful flowers. The gardener, James, was trimming the bushes near the gate. He nodded at her, but she ignored him completely.
She got into the sports car and started the engine. The sound was powerful and loud. She put on her sunglasses and drove out through the electronic gate. Freedom, she thought, away from that broken man in the wheelchair, away from his sad eyes and pathetic face. She turned up the music and headed toward the city where Blake was waiting for her. Back in the house, Marcus was on a video call with his business manager. The quarterly reports looked excellent. Profits were up by 35%. His investments in technology companies were paying off big. "Sir, you are a genius," the manager said through the screen. "Your decisions keep making us richer." Marcus smiled slightly. "Thank you," he said. "Keep doing exactly what we planned." The manager nodded, and they ended the call. Marcus sat back in his wheelchair. He might be broken physically, but his mind was still sharp as a razor blade. That counted for something, at least. His phone rang suddenly. The screen showed Mother calling. Marcus pressed the answer button quickly. "Hello, Mama," he said warmly. His mother, Elizabeth, was his rock. She lived in the family hometown 4 hours away. She called him every few days to check on him. "How are you, my son?" she asked with her strong voice. "Are you eating well? Are you taking your medicine?" Marcus lied smoothly. "Yes, Mama, I am fine. Everything is good here." He did not want to worry her. She was getting old, and he protected her from the painful truth about his marriage. Elizabeth was not fooled. She was a wise woman who had raised 4 children and buried 1 husband. "I am coming to visit you tomorrow," Elizabeth announced firmly. "I want to see you with my own eyes." Marcus felt nervous suddenly. "Mama, you do not have to travel all that way," he said. "The roads are bad, and it is too far for you." "Nonsense," Elizabeth replied. "I am coming, and that is final. I will arrive before lunch tomorrow. Make sure there is food in the house." She hung up before he could argue anymore. Marcus put down his phone, feeling worried now. His mother had only met Vanessa a few times. The wedding was quick and small. Marcus had been so blinded by Vanessa's beauty that he rushed everything.
His mother had warned him to slow down and get to know the girl better, but he had not listened. He was a trillionaire, and he thought his money could buy anything, including true love. How wrong he had been. Now his mother would see the disaster his marriage had become. He could not hide it anymore. Tomorrow would reveal everything, and he felt afraid of what might happen next. That evening, Vanessa came home late. It was almost midnight when Marcus heard her car in the driveway. He was still awake in his office, working on some contracts. He heard her high heels clicking on the floor. She was walking unsteadily, probably drunk again, he thought. She did not come to his office. She went straight upstairs to the master bedroom, where she slept alone now. Marcus slept in a different room on the ground floor because he could not climb stairs anymore. His own bedroom in his own house was denied to him forever. He rolled himself to his ground floor bedroom.
The room was large, but it felt empty and cold. He transferred himself from the wheelchair to the bed. This took effort and strength. His arms lifted his dead weight. He positioned himself carefully and pulled the blanket over his useless legs. He stared at the ceiling in the darkness. Tomorrow, his mother would arrive. Tomorrow, Vanessa would have to pretend to be a good wife. Or maybe she would not pretend. Maybe she would show her true colors. Either way, something was going to change tomorrow. He could feel it in his bones. Morning came with bright sunlight through the windows. Marcus woke up early and got himself ready. He showered using the special bathroom built for his wheelchair. He dressed in a clean shirt and trousers. He wanted to look good for his mother. He rolled into the kitchen where Rosa was preparing breakfast. "Good morning, sir," she said cheerfully. "I made your favorite eggs and toast." "Thank you, Rosa," Marcus replied. He ate slowly while checking his phone. His mother had sent a text message. "I am leaving now. See you soon, my precious son." He smiled at her words. Upstairs, Vanessa was still sleeping. She had come home drunk and exhausted from her day with Blake. The sunlight bothered her eyes. She pulled the pillow over her head. Her phone was filled with messages from Blake. He was already asking when they could meet again. She smiled and stretched her body. Life was good. She had money, freedom, and a lover who actually wanted her. The cripple downstairs was just a bank account with a wheelchair, nothing more. She got up and went to take a long, hot shower, singing some popular songs she heard on the radio. Marcus waited in the living room. He had told Rosa that his mother was coming. Rosa was excited because she loved Elizabeth. Rosa cleaned the house extra carefully and prepared special food. She made vegetable soup and roasted chicken. She bought fresh fruit from the market. Everything had to be perfect for Mama. Marcus watched Rosa work and felt grateful for her. At least someone in this house still cared about him and his family. Rosa treated him with respect and kindness. She never made him feel less than human like his wife did every single day. Around 11 in the morning, a car pulled up outside. Marcus heard it, and his heart jumped. His mother was here. He rolled quickly to the front door. Rosa opened it wide. Elizabeth stepped out of the car wearing a traditional dress in bright colors. She was a tall woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. She looked strong despite her age. "My son," she called out with joy. She hurried to him and bent down to hug him tight. Marcus felt tears in his eyes. "Mama," he whispered, "I missed you." She kissed his forehead and stepped back to look at him closely. "You are too thin," Elizabeth said with concern. "Are they not feeding you properly in this big house?" Before Marcus could answer, Vanessa appeared at the top of the stairs. She was wearing a simple dress, trying to look like a humble wife. "Good morning, Mama," Vanessa said sweetly. "Welcome to our home." Elizabeth looked up at her with cold eyes. She did not smile back. "Good morning," she replied shortly. Vanessa came down the stairs slowly. She could feel the old woman's eyes judging her. She forced a bright smile and tried to act loving and kind, but it felt fake and uncomfortable. "Come inside, Mama," Marcus said quickly. "Let us sit and talk." Elizabeth followed him into the living room. Vanessa walked behind them. Rosa brought cold drinks and snacks. Elizabeth sat on the sofa and looked around the room. She noticed how expensive everything was. Gold decorations, leather furniture, crystal vases. But the house felt empty somehow. There was no warmth, no love. She could sense it immediately. "How is your health, my son?" she asked. He nodded. "I am managing, Mama. The doctors say I am doing well with therapy." "That is not what I asked," Elizabeth said firmly. Vanessa sat across from them, pretending to care. She crossed her legs and sipped her drink. "Would you like some lunch, Mama?" she asked sweetly. "Rosa has prepared your favorite vegetable soup." Elizabeth looked at her. "That is kind of you," she said, "but first I want to talk with my son alone." Vanessa's face faded. "Of course," she said, standing up. "I will check on the food." She walked out of the room feeling annoyed. The old woman was going to be a problem. Vanessa went to the kitchen, where Rosa was cooking. "What is she doing here?" Vanessa whispered angrily. Rosa kept stirring the pot. In the living room, Elizabeth waited until Vanessa was gone. Then she leaned forward and took her son's hands. "Tell me the truth, my son," she said quietly. "How are you really? What is happening in this house?" Marcus looked at his mother's kind face. He wanted to tell her everything. He wanted to cry and complain, but he was a grown man. He was a trillionaire. He felt ashamed. "I am fine, Mama," he said, "just adjusting to my new life." Elizabeth shook her head. "Do not lie to me, boy. I carried you in my womb. I know when you are suffering. I can see it." Marcus took a deep breath. His mother deserved the truth. "Vanessa does not love me anymore," he admitted quietly. "Since the crash, she has changed completely. She treats me badly. She goes out all the time. I think she has another man." Elizabeth's face became hard like stone. "Where is she now during the day?" Elizabeth asked. Marcus shrugged. "Shopping," she says, "or visiting friends. But I know the truth. I am not stupid." Elizabeth stood up. Her body was shaking with anger. "That woman is disrespecting my son in his own house. This will not continue. I will handle this now, immediately." "Wait, Mama," Marcus said. "Please do not make a scene. I do not want trouble." Elizabeth looked down at him. "You are my child," she said. "Do not care if you are 40 years old and a trillionaire. No one treats my son like garbage. No one." She walked out of the living room toward the kitchen. Her footsteps were heavy and purposeful. Marcus felt worried. His mother was a warrior. She did not back down from fights. He rolled his wheelchair quickly to follow her. He knew something bad was about to happen, and he could not stop it, even if he wanted to. In the kitchen, Vanessa was eating some fruit. Rosa was serving the soup into bowls. Elizabeth walked in and stood in the doorway. Vanessa looked up. "Is everything okay, Mama?" she asked with fake sweetness. Elizabeth crossed her arms. "I want to ask you something. Do you love my son?" Vanessa froze. The question hung in the air like smoke. "Of course I do," she lied. "I love him very much." Elizabeth stepped closer. "Then why do you treat him like dirt? Why do you laugh at him? Why do you call him cripple when he cannot hear you crying at night?" Vanessa's face went red. "I don't know what you're talking about," she said defensively. "Who told you these lies?" Elizabeth smiled without warmth. "I have eyes and ears everywhere, girl. Did you think I would not find out? My son is suffering, and you are the cause. You married him for money. Now that he is broken, you want to throw him away like trash."
Vanessa stood up angrily. "You have no right to come into my house and accuse me. This is between me and Marcus." Elizabeth laughed. "Your house? Everything here belongs to my son. You own nothing except the shame you carry." Rosa stood frozen by the stove. She had never seen anyone stand up to Vanessa like this. Marcus rolled into the kitchen. "Mama, please," he said, "let us all calm down." But Elizabeth ignored him. She kept her eyes on Vanessa. "I know about your boyfriend," Elizabeth said quietly, "the one you meet at the hotel every week, the one you buy gifts using my son's money." Vanessa's mouth fell open. How did this old woman know? Who had been spying on her? "That is a lie," Vanessa shouted. "You are a wicked old woman spreading rumors and making up stories to cause problems." Elizabeth pulled out her phone. She showed Vanessa a photograph. It was Vanessa and Blake kissing outside the hotel. Another photo showed them holding hands in a restaurant. Vanessa felt the blood drain from her face. "Where did you get those?" she whispered. Elizabeth put her phone away. "I hired a private investigator 3 weeks ago," she said. "I had a feeling something was wrong. Now I have proof. You are a cheater and a liar. You do not deserve my son. You do not deserve this house or his money or anything he has given you during your whole fake marriage." Marcus stared at the scene in shock. His mother had known for 3 weeks and said nothing. She had gathered evidence like a detective. Vanessa looked at Marcus with panic in her eyes. "He means nothing to me," she said desperately about Blake. "It was just a mistake. I still love you, Marcus. Please believe me." But her words sounded hollow and false. Marcus shook his head slowly. "Pack your things," he said quietly. "Leave my house." Vanessa started crying. "Where will I go?" she begged. "I have nowhere. I am sorry. Please give me another chance. I will change. I promise I will be better." Elizabeth stepped between them. "You had your chance," she told Vanessa. "You wasted it. You chose to be cruel to a man who gave you everything. Now you pay the price. My son is too kind, but I am not. You have 1 hour to take your personal items and leave. If you are still here after that, I will call the police and have you arrested for theft." Vanessa was confused. "Theft?" she repeated. "What did I steal?" Elizabeth smiled coldly. "All those expensive clothes and jewelry. Do you have receipts proving you bought them yourself? Or did my son pay for everything you own?" Vanessa realized she was trapped. Everything she wore, everything she owned had been bought with Marcus's money. She had nothing of her own. She looked at Marcus one last time. "Please," she whispered, "do not do this." But Marcus turned his wheelchair away. He could not look at her anymore. The woman he loved had betrayed him completely. She had mocked him and cheated on him. She had made him feel worthless. Now his mother was defending him like he was a child again. It was humiliating, but also necessary. He did not have the strength to fight Vanessa alone anymore. He needed his mother's help. Upstairs, Vanessa was throwing clothes into suitcases. Her hands were shaking. How had everything fallen apart so fast? One moment she was living a comfortable life. The next moment she was being kicked out. She grabbed her jewelry from the drawer. Then she stopped. Elizabeth's words echoed in her head. Theft. Could they really arrest her for taking things Marcus bought? She did not know. She put the expensive jewelry back. She only packed her old clothes from before the marriage, things she had bought herself. Her phone rang. It was Blake. She did not answer. What would she tell him now? 40 minutes later, Vanessa came downstairs with 2 suitcases. She looked defeated and small. Elizabeth and Marcus were in the living room. Rosa was standing nearby. Vanessa stopped in front of them. "I am leaving now," she said quietly. "I am sorry for everything." Marcus looked at her. He felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, just emptiness. "Goodbye, Vanessa," he said. She turned and walked to the door. Rosa opened it for her. Vanessa stepped outside into the bright day. She put her suitcases in her small old car, not the sports car that belonged to Marcus, too. She drove away without looking back at the estate. Inside the house, silence fell. Elizabeth sat next to her son. "How do you feel?" she asked. Marcus thought about it. "Free," he said finally. "I feel free." Elizabeth smiled. "Good," she said. "Now we can begin to rebuild your life. You are still young. You are still strong where it matters. Your mind is powerful. Your heart is good. The right woman will come along someday. Someone who loves you for you, not for your money. Someone who sees your strength instead of your wheelchair."
Marcus wanted to believe her, but right now he just felt empty and alone and very tired. The next few days were quiet. Elizabeth stayed at the house. She cooked for Marcus. She talked with him for hours. She made him laugh with old stories from his childhood. She reminded him of who he was before Vanessa, before the crash, before everything went wrong. Slowly, Marcus started to feel a little better. His mother's presence was medicine for his wounded soul. Rosa noticed the change too. "Sir is smiling again," she told Elizabeth. "Thank you for coming." Elizabeth hugged her. "You are a good woman, Rosa. You stayed loyal when others did not. I will not forget that kindness you showed my son." 1 week after Vanessa left, Marcus received divorce papers from a lawyer. Vanessa wanted money. She wanted the house. She wanted half of everything. Marcus showed the papers to his mother. Elizabeth laughed. "She wants half," she said, "after cheating, after cruelty, after everything. Let her try." Marcus called his own lawyer, a smart woman named Sarah, who had handled his business contracts for years. Sarah read the papers. "This is ridiculous," she said. "We have evidence of adultery. We have witnesses. She will get nothing. File for divorce immediately. We will fight this and win easily without any problems at all." The divorce process began. It was ugly and long. Vanessa heard her own lawyer. She lied in court. She claimed Marcus had been cruel to her. She said he had abandoned her emotionally. She painted herself as a victim. But Sarah was prepared. She presented the photographs of Vanessa with Blake. She brought Rosa to testify about Vanessa's behavior. She showed bank records proving Vanessa had spent thousands on her boyfriend using Marcus's credit cards. The judge listened to everything carefully. When the evidence was presented, Vanessa's case fell apart completely. Her lies were exposed. Her lawyer looked embarrassed and could not defend her anymore. The judge made his decision. Vanessa would receive nothing. No house, no money, no share of Marcus's business. The marriage was dissolved completely. Marcus was free. When the verdict was read, Vanessa started crying in the courtroom, but no one felt sorry for her. She had made her choices. Now she had to live with the consequences. Marcus rolled out of the courtroom with his mother beside him. He felt lighter than he had in years. The weight was gone. The toxic relationship was over. He could finally move forward with his life and start healing from everything that happened. Months passed. Marcus focused on his business. He expanded into new markets. He hired more employees. His company grew bigger and stronger. He also focused on his health. He did physical therapy every day. He lifted weights to keep his arms strong. He ate better. He slept better. He even started going out again. His friends invited him to dinners and events. At first, it was hard. People stared at the wheelchair. But Marcus learned not to care. He was still himself, still successful, still valuable. The wheelchair did not define him. It was just a part of his life now, not his whole identity or everything. One afternoon, Marcus was at a business conference. He was speaking on a panel about investment strategies. The room was full of people listening to him. After his speech, a woman approached him. Her name was Olivia. She was a lawyer who specialized in disability rights. "I loved your presentation," she said, smiling. "You have a brilliant mind." Marcus thanked her. They talked for a while. Olivia did not look at his wheelchair with pity. She looked at his face. She asked about his ideas. She challenged his opinions. She made him think. Marcus found himself laughing and enjoying the conversation deeply. It felt good. It felt normal and real. They exchanged phone numbers. Over the next weeks, they texted often. Then they met for coffee, then dinner. Olivia was different from Vanessa in every way. She was educated and independent. She had her own career and her own money. She did not need Marcus for anything except his company. She genuinely enjoyed talking to him. She respected him. When Marcus finally told her about Vanessa and the divorce, Olivia listened without judgment. "That must have been very painful," she said. "But you survived. That shows your strength." Marcus felt something warm in his chest. Maybe his mother had been right. Maybe the right person would come. Marcus introduced Olivia to his mother. Elizabeth came to the city for dinner. She watched how Olivia treated her son. She saw the respect and the kindness. She saw how Olivia cut Marcus's food without making him feel helpless, how she laughed at his jokes, how she touched his hand gently when they talked. After dinner, Elizabeth pulled Marcus aside. "This one is good," she whispered. "Do not let her go." Marcus smiled. "I will not, Mama," he promised. For the first time in years, he felt hope about love. Real love. Not the fake kind he had with Vanessa, but something true and lasting and honest. A year after the divorce, Marcus and Olivia got married. It was a small ceremony with close friends and family. Elizabeth cried tears of joy. Rosa was there too, wearing a beautiful dress. Even Marcus's business partners came to celebrate. The wedding was simple, but filled with real love. Olivia looked at Marcus like he was the most precious thing in the world, and he looked at her the same way. When they said their vows, both of them meant every word. This was not a marriage based on money or appearance. It was based on respect, friendship, and genuine love that had grown slowly and naturally between them both. Meanwhile, Vanessa's life had gone downward. Blake left her when he found out she had no money. She moved into a small apartment. She worked at a shop selling clothes. The luxury life was gone. No more fancy cars, no more expensive restaurants, no more designer bags. She thought about Marcus often. She regretted everything. She had thrown away a good man because he was in a wheelchair. She had been shallow and cruel. Now she was paying for it. She heard through friends that Marcus had remarried. She saw photos online of his wedding. He looked happy, truly happy. She cried when she saw those pictures because she knew it could have been her. One day, Vanessa saw Marcus and Olivia at a restaurant. She was working there as a waitress now. They did not see her at first. She watched them from across the room. They were laughing together. Marcus was telling a story, and Olivia was listening with bright eyes. They looked like a perfect couple. Vanessa felt a knife in her heart. She had to take their order. She walked to their table slowly. Her hands were shaking. When she got there, Marcus looked up. His smile faded. "Vanessa," he said quietly. "Hello," she whispered. "I will be your server today. What would you like to order?" Olivia looked between them. She knew who Vanessa was. Marcus had told her everything, but Olivia was not cruel. She smiled politely at Vanessa. "We will have the grilled salmon and vegetables, please," Olivia said kindly. Vanessa nodded and wrote it down. Her hand was still shaking. She glanced at Marcus. He looked so different now, confident, happy, strong. She wanted to say something to apologize, but what could she say? Sorry I mocked you? Sorry I cheated? Sorry I threw away the best thing that ever happened to me? The words stuck in her throat. She walked away to place their order, feeling completely defeated and ashamed. When Vanessa brought their food, Marcus spoke to her. "How have you been?" he asked. His voice was not angry, just curious. Vanessa shrugged. "Surviving," she said honestly. "I'm working here now, trying to make ends meet." Marcus nodded. "I hope things get better for you," he said. Vanessa felt tears in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. "I am sorry for everything. I was terrible to you. You did not deserve that treatment. I was stupid and selfish." Marcus looked at Olivia, then back at Vanessa. "I forgive you," he said. "I moved on. I'm happy now. I hope you find happiness too someday when you learn from your mistakes." Vanessa couldn't hold back the tears anymore. They ran down her face. She turned and walked away quickly. She went to the bathroom and cried. She had lost everything. But seeing Marcus happy made her realize something important. He had never needed to walk to be valuable. He had always been amazing. She had been too blind to see it, too focused on the wrong things. Now another woman saw what Vanessa had missed, and that woman would cherish him forever. Vanessa washed her face and went back to work. Life had taught her a hard lesson. She would never forget it for the rest of her days. Marcus and Olivia finished their meal. They left a generous tip for Vanessa. As they left the restaurant, Olivia took Marcus's hand. "That must have been difficult," she said, seeing her again. Marcus squeezed her hand. "It was okay," he replied. "I truly have moved on. She is part of my past. You are my future." Olivia smiled and kissed his cheek. They went home to their beautiful house, not the estate. They had bought a new place together, a fresh start. It was smaller, but filled with love. Rosa still worked for them. She was like family now. Everything felt right. Everything felt complete and whole. That evening, Marcus called his mother. He told her about seeing Vanessa. Elizabeth listened carefully. "How do you feel, my son?" she asked. Marcus thought about it. He said, "I feel grateful," he said. "Grateful that she left. Grateful that you came that day and confronted her. Grateful that I found Olivia. Everything that happened led me here, to this moment, to this life. I would not change anything now." Elizabeth's voice was warm through the phone. "You have learned wisdom," she said. "Pain can teach us if we let it. You let it teach you. Now you are stronger. Now you are truly living again, my precious boy." Years passed. Marcus's business became one of the biggest in the country. He employed thousands of people. He gave money to charities. He built schools and hospitals. He became known not for his wheelchair, but for his generosity and intelligence. Olivia continued her law practice. She fought for people with disabilities. Together, they were a power couple. They had 2 children, beautiful kids who loved their father completely. The children never saw the wheelchair as strange. To them, it was just how Daddy moved around. They climbed on it, they played with it, they loved him without any conditions or reservations at all. One day, a young man came to Marcus's office. His name was David. He was in a wheelchair too. He had heard Marcus's story. "Sir, I am struggling. I had an accident last year. My girlfriend left me. I lost my job. I feel worthless. I do not know how to keep going. I heard your story and wanted to meet you, to ask how you did it, how you survived." Marcus looked at the young man. He saw himself from years ago, lost, broken, hopeless. He smiled gently. "You are not worthless," Marcus said. "You were just beginning a new chapter. Let me help you through it all." Marcus became a mentor to David. He helped him find a job. He introduced him to therapists and support groups. He showed him that life in a wheelchair could still be full and meaningful. David slowly began to heal. He started his own small business. He gained confidence. One day he met a kind woman who loved him for who he was. David came back to thank Marcus. "You saved my life," he said. Marcus shook his head. "You saved yourself," he replied. "I just showed you the way. Now you go and help someone else. That is how we heal, by lifting each other up when we fall down." Elizabeth lived to see her grandchildren grow up. She visited often. She cooked for the family. She told stories. She was the heart of the family. When she finally passed away peacefully in her sleep at age 86, the whole community mourned. Marcus cried for weeks. His mother had been his rock, his defender, his biggest supporter. At her funeral, he gave a speech.
My mother taught me that strength is not about walking. It is about standing up for what is right. It is about protecting the people you love. It is about never giving up. She was the strongest person I ever knew. I will honor her memory every day. Vanessa heard about Elizabeth's death. She sent flowers to the funeral. She did not attend. She knew she was not welcome, but she wanted to pay her respects. The card said simply, "I am sorry. Thank you for teaching me the truth."
Marcus saw the flowers. He read the card. He felt no anger anymore, just sadness that Vanessa had learned her lesson too late. He hoped she had found some peace. He hoped she had become a better person. Forgiveness did not mean forgetting, but it meant letting go of the poison. He had let it go years ago. Now he felt only pity for the woman who had once caused him so much pain and suffering. Olivia grew old beside Marcus. They celebrated their 20th anniversary, then their 30th. Their children had children. The family expanded. The business continued to grow. Marcus eventually handed it over to his eldest son, who ran it with wisdom and care. Marcus retired but stayed active. He wrote a book about his life, about the crash, about Vanessa, about his mother, about Olivia, about finding strength and weakness, about discovering that true value comes from character, not from physical ability. The book became a bestseller. People around the world read it. They were inspired. They wrote him letters. They thanked him for sharing his story honestly and completely. One evening, Marcus sat on his porch watching the sunset. Olivia was beside him. Their grandchildren were playing in the yard. He thought about his life, all the pain, all the joy, all the lessons. He had been broken physically, but that breaking had revealed his true strength. He had lost a woman who did not deserve him, but he had gained a woman who cherished him completely. He had faced darkness, but he had found light on the other side. Life had not turned out the way he planned. It had turned out better, much better than he ever imagined possible. He reached over and held Olivia's hand. She squeezed back gently and smiled at him with pure love in her eyes. Marcus thought about young men and women who were suffering right now, people in wheelchairs who felt hopeless, people who had been betrayed by those they trusted, people who thought their lives were over because their bodies had changed. He wanted them to know something important. Your value is not in your legs. Your value is not in what others think of you. Your value is in your heart and your mind and your spirit. Those things cannot be broken by any accident. Those things cannot be taken away by any cruel person. Hold on to that truth. Fight for your dignity every single day. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky orange and pink, Marcus felt deep peace. He had lived a full life, a meaningful life. He had helped others do the same. His mother's voice echoed in his memory. "You are still young. You are still strong where it matters." She had been right. Age had come now. His hair was gray, his face was lined, but his spirit was still strong, still fighting, still believing, still loving. That was what mattered most. That was the real measure of a man. Not his ability to walk, but his ability to love. The lesson of Marcus's story is simple but powerful. Never judge a person by their physical condition. Never mock those who are struggling or suffering. Never assume that weakness in the body means weakness in the soul. Treat everyone with respect and dignity. Love people for who they are, not for what they can give you. Stand up for those who cannot stand for themselves. And if you are the one who is broken, remember this: you are still valuable, you are still worthy, you are still capable of amazing things. Your story is not over. It is just beginning a new chapter. Keep going, keep fighting, keep believing. The best is yet to come for you. Before we end this story, we want to hear from you. Where in the world are you watching this video right now? Are you in London, Australia, India, Ghana, Toronto, Dubai, or somewhere else? Drop a comment below and let us know your location. Also, if this story touched your heart, please hit that subscribe button, give us a like, share this video with your friends and family. We want these powerful stories to reach more people around the world. Your support helps us continue creating content that inspires and teaches important lessons. Thank you for watching. Until next time, remember to treat everyone with kindness and respect.